Hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. A show. We've got some big news today on multiple fronts, all dealing with elections and election integrity. Okay, so we've got a big win in Texas. We've got problems in China. We've also got problems coming out of Venezuela. We've got key players being moved around. And to discuss all of this, I've got Mike Lindell on with us today because, Mike, you've been keeping up on this fact. When I got back from hunting, I talked with you, and you kind of brought me up to speed on all of these stories. And there's a lot taking place right now, a tremendous amount, actually. So, of course, you just had a lawsuit. We'll talk about that as well, and a summary judgment there, and how you're going to fight that and what that actually means. We've also got, folks, do me a favor, too. Please smash that like, chat in with where you're from. But this is going to be a big show because there's a lot we're going to go through here. Lisa, thank you so much for that super sticker. But let's just get right into it, Mike. You know what?
I'm going to go ahead. I got to add one more too, Neil. You want to ask me about what just came out of Wisconsin too. So,
okay, I got to write this down because I'll forget it. I mean, so because we've got. Have you heard about Karen Bass and the China situation?
No, I have not. So you got one I haven't heard about.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that as well. There's a whole host of things. So one of the things that everybody needs to understand is this is America, okay? This is God's gift to the world, man. America. I mean, we're the freest country still, and we're the shining city on the hill. We are the great hope of governance in the world, and I don't say that without with a shadow of any sort of hyperbole to it. This really is. If America falls, everything falls. And so the one worlders know this. So they've long been after all things in America. That's why we have these disinformation campaigns that run. That's why our media is funded by George Soros. This is why all the Uniparty then tries to fund the media, and why they're trying to get right now through the government shutdown another $500 million to fund, state-run media, basically. So this is a huge deal. And so our elections are always at the forefront in the world. This is, I mean, seriously, what do you want to go steal Panama's elections? I mean, what, you going to go after Chile? No, the big prize is America, folks. Don't ever forget this. So there's a lot of international play at this. So we're going to talk about China, Venezuela. There's a big thing that broke in Texas. And then now, according to Mike, a big thing that broke in Wisconsin. But Mike, I'm going to do this real quick because I want to get right into this news. But I want to mention the specials going on right now with free shipping, the towels, the slippers. Take a minute and just run people through it.
Yeah, you guys, we added the slippers. This is the best price you're ever going to get of the season. You get them now. Get those slippers now. And the towels, by the way, that just came in. And we waited a while. There's going to be a gap. So get those $39.98 with the promo code Lumberjack. And the free shipping. This is an exclusive. You guys get free shipping on any product today. You don't have to be over $100. I don't care if you buy one item. The premium My Pillows on the right there, those were Giza covered premiums. It was a special. Once we were out, we were gonna cut it off. We did run out of the queens, but I give you guys one more special. I put our premium My Pillows. Normally, what, 69 something, 98, 59, 98, 17.98 for the queen, 19.98 for the king. Right below that, you guys got the beds. The beds are on sale, and the mattress toppers. Today's the day they ship for free. You guys, remember, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty, and then you got the great Rev 7 right next to that, where you guys got to get this energy drink, no sugar, no caffeine. We're going to be talking a lot about that coming up because that's the hottest product we have. They had a little gap because we can't keep it in stock. Everybody's loving it. I love it. I take it every day. The mental clarity is unbelievable. Then we have the My Crosses, you guys, like the crosses I wear. I know a lot of you are waiting for the women's. They're back in stock, made in the USA. You guys, My Pillow is flourishing in spite of all the attacks. And you guys call my operator, 800-568-2865. I can't tell you, thank you enough, Neil. Your audience and the grace of God, My Pillow made it through all these attacks, and they're going, well, Mike, aren't you glad they've stopped? No, they haven't stopped. I'm holding a Smartmatic lawsuit right in front of me here. that this judge just ruled against My Pillow for 1.5 billion.
The thing, it just like I was trying to change something in the settings and then it made you disappear, Mike. I'm sorry about
That's
that.
okay.
Okay, folks. So this is huge. So we've got the Smartmatic lawsuit. We've got Texas. Where do you want to start, Mike?
Let's start with this, all the bad news, right? All the attacks. So Smartmatic, you guys,
I want to bring something in
about
here,
a
Mike.
week ago.
I want to just bring this in real quick, just so people have a little bit of. So this is what people will get on an AI overview. Now, this is really, while no confirmed Smartmatic whistleblower has emerged to prove claims of vote manipulation, the topic is central to several legal cases, investigations, and settlements involving the country. And then they go on about the 2020 and how everything's fine and good. But listen to this. Bribery and corruption allegations, Smartmatic executives and a former election official in the Philippines were indicted in August of 2024 for an alleged bribery scheme. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 3 Smartmatic executives and Juan Andres Donato Batista, the former chairman of the Philippines Election Commission, engaged in a scheme to pay over $1 million in bribes. The goal was to secure contracts for the 2016 Philippine elections. So now what's interesting about this, and I want you all to pay attention to this, so we have actual investigations from the DOJ into Smartmatic, but they go on to say that everything that they said about 2020 was perfectly legit. So I just want to kind of bring that up right away as the media covers this. Mike, you disappeared off screen. I don't know why, but
there we are. Okay, everybody, you guys, I'm my own tech guy today, so we had to. I'm kind of on the fly here, so. But yeah, you guys, Smartmatic. A whistleblower came forward to a whistleblower about 2 weeks ago now and said, yes, basically everything Mike Lindell has told you and everybody else has told you about Smartmatic is true. This is also tied to the Tina Peters case. This whistleblower looked at the Mesa County image. He says, you know what? This is what we did to steal Venezuela and all this stuff. Okay. Now, is it a coincidence, everybody? I've been waiting for a summary judgment against Smartmatic, My Pillow, and myself for, I don't know, months now. A summary judgment, everybody. My lawyers put in, hey, this is frivolous. I got to quit. My Pillow and Mike Lindell are innocent. It's frivolous. Judge, just dump this case. Now, of course, they come back with not only don't dump it, but we think they're guilty, or we say they're guilty of defamation. Well, the judge, all of a sudden, after the whistleblower, like 2 days later, comes out with this lawsuit, everybody, or this thing, he says, or this ruling. Here's what he ruled. My Pillow, guilty by association, basically. Vicariously, he called it vicariously liable. So that means, for everybody, if you are a company in this country and you have an employee like I am on My Pillow, and they're out there and they're talking their rights of free speech, you could get sued for defamation. But even worse than that, they made a ruling that I defamed them. So what they're saying is the judge is already making the rule for the jury. And 2 years from now, when it would get to a jury, or a year and a half, who knows, the jury is going to say, okay, all you have to do is rule one thing. Was Mike malicious? And how much does he owe? Well, you guys, here's the bottom line. If I don't appeal this, it affects the whole country. It will set a precedence for these 2 things, everybody. One is, if we will never have the right to go question a government private contractor again. That's what these machine companies are. We will never be able to question it, just like they've tried to stop us with lawfare to questioning them now. We will never be able to question it. This will set a precedent, and it's over. Forget about it. If My Pillow or some company, let's say it was My Pillow, we got a military contract, and everyone was complaining that there were rocks and knives in these pillows. There's something inside them besides the amazing patented fill. If you question it, you could get sued. And I don't have to open up and say there's nothing in there. It's beautiful. You can't question it if this holds, if this stands. The other thing that would stand is if you're an employer out there, and you'd have to worry about every employee you had out there exercising his right of free speech, because you could be sued for what he did on his off time. It's disgusting. And I'll tell you, there's no coincidence. They did this to continue to attack. You guys all know Arctic frost is in the news right now because the senators, this Arctic frost, everybody, it was a government operation they put out, and I was the first one to go after My Pillow, the FBI, go after My Pillow and the DOJ and 4 other government entities to go attack Mike Lindell, My Pillow, and my banks. And it ended up being 92 companies and people, including Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. But all of a sudden, Neil, it's getting a lot of news today. Why? Because there were 7 senators also attacked. So Fox News actually is reporting this. Come on, guys, we can. This is huge. This is huge. Fox News is out there reporting this, and you have Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. All these senators, I know them all, and all the ones on that list, the 92 that were attacked by the FBI and the DOJ to take them out, right? Wipe off, stop their voice. What do they all have in common, everybody? Every single one on that list has one thing in common, and only one. And that's our election platforms. All of them were questioning the 2020 election. They were questioning our dirty voter rolls, which I'll bring up Wisconsin in a second. They had all these questions. So that's going on. Then you have, so to tie this all together is what's going on right now. You guys are seeing this battle of, everywhere, this battles of all different things the president's doing. He knows. I talk to him all the time. The number one concern he has, which all of the problems this country has, it has only one thing in common with one thing: our elections. We've got to get rid of the machines. We got to get the paper ballots hand counted. And what have we been up against? You think it's just Democrats, everybody? This just happened in Wisconsin, okay? It's a crooked outfit called the Wisconsin Election Committee or Commission. Yep. And what they are in Wisconsin, you guys, they're like it's their version of a Secretary of State. They have all the power of the elections. I've been fighting this crooked outfit for 5 years. And here's what just happened. A judge ruled in Wisconsin that they have to finally check out their dirty voter rolls. Wisconsin has the dirtiest voter rolls in the country, only because of the sheer magnitude. 7 million, like 100,000, 7.1 million names on their voter rolls. If every single person voted in Wisconsin that could vote, it's a little over 4 million. All we want to do is take these dirty names, including illegals, off of these rolls. All the illegals, the dead people, the people that don't live in Wisconsin. And you know what, Neil? They ruled this today. He orders a citizenship check on Wisconsin voter rolls. A judge ordered it. You know what happened right after that? The old uniparty, they're going to fight back. They're going to take this to a higher court. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, everybody. Who would stop this? Democrats, Republicans? I'm talking of the people. All people should want these voter rolls cleaned up, because the only way they can win is if they cheat. And I'm not just talking Democrats. Oh. I'm talking the uniparty. The uniparty. Robin Vos, one of the most crooked politicians that ever walked this country.
Is Megan Wolf still there? Is she still in her position?
I believe so. You know who stopped her from losing her position? Crooked Robin Vos, you guys. Robin Vos, you guys, he's the Speaker of the House here, one of the most powerful politicians in the country, but for sure in Wisconsin. He basically rules Wisconsin. He's so crooked. He's not ahead of crooked Brad Rassenberger, the other Republican Secretary of State down in Georgia. Okay, Mike. These guys. Do you know one time, Neil? I called it the Rafty Award. It was the Brad Rassenberger, the Rafty Award for the most crooked politician. Robin Vos kept winning it every week, so we had to discontinue it. He won it every week.
Okay, Mike. Here's the thing. Okay, 2 things on this, by the way, and you probably know the answer to this, but just quick quiz for the audience and for you, Mike, if you want to answer it. But who was Robin Vos's college roommate?
I think I know it, but I'm not going to say the name. I think it's RP as the initials. Is that correct?
PR.
Oh, PR. Okay.
Yes. Paul Ryan.
Go ahead. Paul Ryan, that's what I mean. Yeah, yeah. I had another guy the same initials, only in reverse. It was either Paul Ryan or it was the other guy I'm thinking of, but I don't want to say his name.
Okay, now look at this, Mike. This is what's interesting. So Waukesha County judge orders citizenship check Wisconsin voter rolls. So you're right. This comes out.
Right.
But look at that byline. Wisconsin's Department of Justice is appealing the ruling.
Yes, you guys can't make this up, you guys. Why would they do that? A judge ruled all they want you to do, you crooked Wisconsin election committee. There's I think there's 5 on there. It don't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. They are the most crooked committee I've ever seen in my life, or commission. So here, a judge says, hey, what you're doing, we want some common sense. Clean up our voter rolls, Wisconsin. We don't want illegals on there. We don't want dead people on there. We don't want people that don't live in Wisconsin on there. We want eligible voters on there. You guys, and you know what? You got to have these computers that run the dirty voter rolls too. If they need that because they pull product from that when they do all the stealing of our elections. This is disgusting, and to have them fight it, even to say, "Oh, we're going to fight that." What?
And furthermore, Mike, it's the Department of Justice.
Yeah, the Department of Justice. By the way, don't be confused. It's not the federal level. This is the state Department of Justice in Wisconsin, and you can't make this up. Now, why would they do that? Okay. This is the uniparty deep state. This is the power that's trying to take our country, to steal our country. They wanted to do it without firing a shot. It's done through computers, everybody. I've been saying that all along. I'm going to bring it back to you guys. I'm telling you, the appeal that I have, that my appeal that we have to appeal, Neil, we only have 22 more days. The judge gave us 30 days to appeal. It costs $300,000. I need everybody's help out there. Go to mypillowtrial.com, please, and do what you can to help out. I'm going to get this money. I don't care if I have to go borrow it from bad people or whatever. I mean, we have to appeal this because all this stuff that's going on, my teams have come too far to save this country with to fight things like what you see going on in Wisconsin. And we have, and maybe it's a good, I'm going to go a good, I got to throw in this one good thing. I might get ahead of myself, but I want people to know you keep asking for money for help because you went broke, fighting this or whatever. Where's some hope or whatever? Where's some things that have happened with our money? Well, here you go, guys. There it is. Dallas County, the biggest county, one of the biggest counties in the country. Their GOP, the Dallas, these fighters that are down there, they weren't even part of my team, you guys. I got to give them credit. They kept fighting and fighting, and everybody, Smartmatic, one of the top guys at Smartmatic, all of a sudden he resigned like 4 weeks ago. They were blocking this in Texas, paper ballots hand counted. We just won a week and a half ago. This should be news heard around the world. They're going to do paper ballots hand counted in these primaries, which is in March. This will set an example. I haven't brought it to the president yet. I've got all the stuff. I met with them all about 3 days ago. I've got all the information, Neil. We're going to help them. We are going to help them show the world and show the country that this paper in this big county, they'll be doing paper. And there's no machines, no tabulators, everybody. I want people to understand that. No machine. There's no metal in the room. They're going to be.
This is a big deal, Mike, and I want to kind of stress this to people.
So huge. It's huge.
It's a primary, so people are going to stop. They're going to say, "Whoa, it's just a primary election." No, here's what you need to understand: primaries are where the real battle is.
That's right.
I need to just clarify this, and this is why if you are not involved in the party apparatus, if you're not voting in primaries, if you're not out at the caucuses, you are missing the boat.
If we don't get these people to turn out for this, you guys, I'm probably going to run for governor in Minnesota, and it's just like these primaries down in Dallas that we're showing now. If we lose our country, if we don't get to paper ballots hand counted, our president knows it's his most important thing. You guys can sit and say, "Oh no, this is all these great things he's doing." It all comes down. If they steal this election in this midterm coming up, it's over. And what I also mean by that, Neil, remember, everybody, these Republicans, when you get to all of a sudden go, how did that guy get to the general election? How did he win in the primary? Everybody knows he's corrupt and blah, 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 or whatever it is, that he's a uniparty, and one of our guys didn't get in that the people want. It's because they steal it in the primaries. Or you know what? Or you all don't get out to vote in the primaries, because that's where it's at. That's where it's not just from the top. This is where they do it all. And I want to tell everybody, it's more.
There's counties, Mike. I just need to make this. There's voting precincts. There's counties where if you are the Republican on the ballot, you're going to win. You're going to win as the Republican. So if you're going to rig an election, if you're going to like try and get your uniparty hack in there, where are you going to do this? It's not going to be at the main vote level, because it's 70% Republican. Okay. Right. You're going to do it at that grassroots level. You're going to do it at the primary level. So a county going to paper ballots, hand counting in the primaries, this is huge.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to add to that, Neil. You guys, by the way, we had hand counted paper ballots. This is what you don't see on Fox News. None of the media is going to talk about this, because the uniparty controls them all, and Fox News, Newsmax, they're not going to show you this huge win. But here's the thing. Let's just take Texas. Gillespie County in Texas, I think there was a couple other ones. In the 2024 election, they did paper ballots, hand counted, the same system they're going to use in Dallas County. Yeah. Now, was that huge? That was huge, because it showed they got done the same time as the machines, actually probably sooner. It went great. Everything was great. 100% accuracy. Okay, no problem. You didn't see that in the news. Hey, look at this county. They said, oh, that's just a small county. Or how about you go over to Arkansas, everybody? Searcy County in Arkansas, they did it in Searcy County in the 2024 election, but they were attacked by the uniparty.
Oh, Mike cut out there for just a second.
And they they were attacked by the Republicans, including Sarah Huckabee. And you know how they were attacked? You guys didn't spend enough money. You saved too much money in the election. You should have spent more money. And they tried to keep them out of elections. No, seriously, that's what they did.
Like a government boondoggle to me.
Yeah.
You don't spend the money, you don't get in your budget.
That's right. So anyway, the reason Dallas County is so important is because, and not only the primary there, but it's because it's so big. This is one of the biggest pushbacks we get. Like Maricopa County going, if we had to do paper ballots, hand counted, we'd have to have Arizona Stadium, and it would take months. Well, no, we did it in the 90s. Here's what we do. It's down to the precinct level. This is just like the president wants.
Folks. This is so key.
It's down to the precinct level. It's going to take a lot more people, which is fine. Everybody wants to make sure their elections are trusted. Everything, you can't centralize like they want to do our voting process and nationalize it. This has to go back to the precinct level, which is what Dallas County is going to do. They're going to go back. They're going to have all these hand counts going on. And I know the system. It is the best hand counting system in the world. Remember, we've studied all the other hand counting systems in the world, which 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines. You guys, this will set an example and a prototype to the rest of this country that, hey, wow, look what they did in Dallas County. It works. But Neil, more importantly than that, we want to get the word out, which I'm going to be talking to the president once I get all my stuff down on paper because I just met with them all. And we're going to say, hey, look at Dallas County. Look what Dallas County's doing, everybody. So everybody can reach out to their county and flood the zone with, hey, we want to do in the primaries what Dallas County is doing. Because, a lot of them will let them go on then with, say, hey, they voted in. Let them have fun in the primaries, right? Well, then once they all see it works, everybody, what's coming is these machines need to be gone by the general election in the midterms. And I believe this is the gateway. You started small. We got some wins. And, Dallas County got all this pushback, but they won. They can't renege on this now. This is it. They're going to do it. And it's in a few short months away. And they're getting prepared now of all the stuff they have to do I'm going to get involved because it has to go foolproof, beautiful, so you can show, hey, it can be done with a big county. And you guys, I want to go back to Arkansas. I want to tell you guys with Arkansas, Neil, and we've told this story before. In Arkansas, it goes to show with the pushback we had, even by the uniparty Republicans, even when Donald Trump wasn't in charge, how the Republicans did horrific things to our country, these uniparty. In Arkansas, in Cleburne County, I believe it was January of 23, they voted to, or might have been January of 22, actually. They voted to go paper ballots, hand counted, and get rid of the machines. In most cases, you can do that right in your own county, just like Dallas County did. But they voted to do it in all their elections. All these other counties in Arkansas were going to follow suit. This horrible uniparty Republican in Arkansas named Kim Hammers, he shoved a bill through, and the bill said this: if you're a county in Arkansas and you go to paper ballots, hand counted, how dare you? Ba're not going to fund your county for the election. Cut off all funds. So you guys, search everyone got scared. And you can keep on saying, bring back the machines. We're really sorry. We're sorry, Sarah Huckabee. Please don't do this to us. Well, we're sorry we even brought it up. All the other counties except for one, Searcy County, Arkansas, was so brave. They said, we don't need your funding. Bring it on. We're going to do paper ballots, hand counting. And they did it in the 2024 election. And you guys, you know what they got for it? They were attacked all the way up to Huckabee, Sanders, what they said when I said that before, that they didn't spend enough money, Neil. Here's what they went after him for. They had a beautiful election, everybody. Everything would be 100% accuracy. They had cameras like we want on the added to the hand count. So if you have a problem, you just rewind the tapes. If you want to do an audit, you rewind the tape. So here's the cameras. The camera system, they went out and got the best deal to save money on the county. Remember, they had to use county money because the state disowned them.
Yep.
So they went out and they saved so much money that the system they got that they rented, they said, you know what? You should have paid more money, because that's like in kind. You can't do that. You can't just get that. That's like somebody out there gave you a deal on this because they might have been a Republican. I mean, you can't make this up. They went to take away their right to work those elections for 14 years. They went after them. They won that about a month ago or a month and a half ago, everybody. They said, shame on you, Sarah, and the rest of you. We're not going to, they told them you can still we're going to take away that 14-year penalty. But we still find you guilty of it. You should have spent more money. You can't make this up at all. It's insanity. And shame on you, Sarah. Shame on your state or your state politicians for going after these brave people that want to secure our elections for Arkansas and the nation. This is what we've been up against. So I'm telling you, everybody, the pushback they got on Dallas County, this big county, and they had one of the top guys from Smartmatic working there, one of the most corrupt people you'll ever know in your life. And he resigned because he knew Smartmatic whistleblower was coming out, and he knew that this vote was going to vote for paper ballots, hand counting. He's bye-bye.
All right, so we're going to get into that. We're going to get into this Garcia guy here in just a second.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of questions, Mike, floating across.
Right.
People are asking, how can they support you? They understand, that what you've said about the Dominion, the Smartmatic suit, and this whole definition of vicariously liable and how the attack
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, it's crazy. So there's two ways. Okay, one, I always encourage you people, buy from people who like you. I'm serious. Don't like Amazon. They don't need your money. Okay, go buy from MyPillow. Okay, right. That's the number one way you can do this, because you've got Christmas coming. Okay, so go get your Christmas gifts at MyPillow right now. I mean, free shipping, free digital gifts. The towels are in. The MyPillows, the My Slippers, all this stuff is right there. Okay, Rev 7, My Cross, the Giza sheets, folks. If you're getting the sheets for yourself, let me just tell you, just skip the percales, go straight to Giza's and get them.
Right, that's right. I want to say another thing there. I see. Remember, we have body pillows for $29.98. You guys, the body pillows that used to be $79.98. I mean, they make the best gift. All this stuff makes the best gifts ever.
Yeah. So there it is. Go get some. Okay. I mean, the percales are still $29.88. Those that are left.
And those that are left, you guys, once they're gone for good. And those are running out. So right now I do know that we still have all the sizes but they're going to be gone very soon. You will never get, we're closing them out to raise money so we can buy, because remember, all the banks, everything canceled us because you've heard it out there with Arctic Frost and all this stuff. All the box stores canceled. We need the money because we got to pay cash for our other items coming in. So in order to get like flannel sheets in, we got to close this out for good. We're closing out the line for good to generate money. We are our own bank. We got, you know what? We're passing all that. We don't have a middleman, or we couldn't even do these low prices. There's no middleman. It's all you. It's all you, everybody. And we can't thank you enough. Another thing I want to tell you, when you take, when you have people calling 800 568 2865, it's my operators that take the phone, not some call center from overseas. These are moms and dads that work from home. They've been doing it for years now. And everybody remember, you know what our government did to them? In 4 states, including my state here in Minnesota and California and 2 other ones. They went after them and said they couldn't work from home. I fought that, and we won, everybody. We won in every single one of them states. How dare you say that they couldn't work from home to take care of their family and work from home when everybody else was with the China virus? That was disgusting, but we stood our ground and we won. And these guys rely on you all to our employee-owned companies. So that is a great way to support everything I'm doing. If my pillow is good over here, I'm going to be out there, and I'm never stopping until we save our country. That's a fact, Neil.
Okay. And the other way, Mike, they can donate directly, and that is My Pillow Trial.
MyPillowTrial.com. If we don't raise the money for this appeal, everybody, we have 22 more days to do it. I can't borrow money from anybody. They're going, because of these lawsuits. And the lawyer said, or the judge said, you have 30 days to file this appeal and another 30 days after that to finish the appeal. And this, by the way, we have to do this, or the ramifications, the manifestation of what could happen then to the country, it's done. You could never question a government private contractor again. But I will tell you this, everybody, I'll give you some hope. Everyone goes, oh, they got to appeal it. The next judge will be corrupt too. This is in Minnesota. If everybody remembers, just a few short months ago, that I put all the way two corrupt rulings. Took it to appealed it. It went to the state court. That judge threw it back. We took it all the way to federal court. The $5 million challenge. 3 judges in the 8th Circuit unanimously said Mike was right. He was right. So that got overturned, and that chances that were 1 in millions. This one's going to be very simple. And guess where it goes, everybody, when we appeal? To the same judges, the 8th Circuit here in Minnesota. They have common sense. I believe there's common sense. This is the most nonsensical lawsuit and ruling a judge has ever made. He's not saying, hey, let's let the jury rule on this. He's saying, no. I'm going to tell you right now, that was Mike Lindell defamed Smartmatic, and My Pillow did too, because they know Mike Lindell.
That's right. It's vicarious. I always hear about people living their lives vicariously through people. Yeah. I didn't know you could be vicariously liable, but I got to move on to the next news story here. All right. So this is Hyder Garcia, folks. So I'm gonna read from this piece, and then I'm gonna pull back to an affidavit on this guy. Okay. So this is out of the Texas Tribune, and it says Hyder Garcia resigns as Dallas County elections chief. The election official who previously worked in Tarrant County won praise for pushing back on misinformation. Okay. So the coverage, this coverage is made possible, by the way, through VoteBeat, a nonpartisan news organization covering local election administration and voting access. If you don't know what VoteBeat is, I won't get into it all, but anytime they say nonpartisan, get worried. Dallas County Elections Administrator Hyder Garcia is leaving his post to work for one of the state's certified voting machine companies. He submitted his letter of resignation on Thursday. His last day with the county will be August 29th. Garcia's resignation comes only months before a statewide constitutional amendment election and the 2026 primary election. Planning for both elections is already underway. The Dallas County Elections Commission, made up of a bipartisan group of county leaders, will choose the next elections administrator. Okay, so this is who he is. Okay, and then they go on to say, your confidence in my leadership. This is Garcia thanking Jenkins, and the resources you provide me allowed me to effectively deliver results. Okay, now So that's the media's reporting on him. So now I want to go to
Right.
this. Here's Hyder Garcia. Now, Patrick Colbeck has a different take. He says the QB of U.S. election theft is Hyder Garcia, a Venezuelan criminal. Here's a short affidavit on how he rigged Tarrant County, Texas, Fort Worth. Okay, so let's look at this. I, Jeanette Faulkner, being sworn, duly declares on penalty of perjury. I am personally familiar with the facts stated in this affidavit, and if sworn as a witness, am competent to testify to them as well. I am a registered voter in the state of Texas. On November 3rd, 2020, I reported to the Tarrant County Elections Office. Okay. Edison contracted the University of Dallas, where I'm a master's student, looking for people to report results to them on election night. Upon arriving at the office, I and two other reporters were kept waiting in another part of the building for about 40 minutes before being told the count was happening in the back of the building. Upon entering, there were about 6 other reporters there, separated from the rest of the area. It sounds like pizza boxes over the window by a tall, solid, portable partition wall. Throughout the evening, the election staff brought out 5 sets of reports, which I have submitted. Report early and absentee voting, listen to this, showed Trump and Biden in a tight race. But in the election day voting, Trump was significantly ahead throughout the evening. The last report was issued at 12:33 a.m. on November 4th, at which time the president was ahead 51 to 46 in same day voting. The absent and early voting count remained consistent throughout the night, and those numbers were close between Biden and Trump, though Trump still held a slight lead, as the submitted documents show. Now, this is interesting because I want you to remember the elections graphs, okay, where everything was tight, and then you got that spike, okay? Let's see. Shortly before 1 a.m., the elections manager, Hyder Garcia, told us reporters there would be no further reports and that absentee and early voting were complete. Now, remember, the absentee and early voting slight lead to Trump, bigger lead in the same day election voting. Okay. There was one lady from the Secretary of State office outside the partition and at least 2 other reporters. I could hear workers behind the partition loudly cleaning up. Then I saw an unmarked, light-colored moving truck pull up to the dock, and several young men in COVID masks start unloading multiple, perhaps dozens, of office boxes. I asked Mr. Garcia if those were more ballots. He answered they were not, but they left some machines at a school polling place, so he sent the men to retrieve them. He said, those machines are important. When I walked around the partition to get a better look, I did not see machines being unloaded, only file boxes rapidly being carried off the truck. Okay, so this is a sworn affidavit, folks.
Right.
This is about Hyder Garcia. Okay, so this is the guy you're talking about, correct, Mike?
Right. That's correct. That's correct. And Hyder Garcia, remember, he came from Smartmatic, and the whistleblowers from there. There's even more in that about this guy. So this guy resigns. He was a huge blocker. Let's cover that first. In Dallas County. Okay. Now, when what he did, he resigns. You know where he's going? He's working for Hart. That's another machine company. There's basically 4 in the United States. Smartmatic only does LA County, but they go back. They're the mothership back to the genesis of it in Venezuela when they stole Venezuela. So you got Dominion, you got the biggest one in the country, ES&S, and then you have Hart. So he's going over to Hart. Now let's think about this. So I want everyone I bet this was kind of missed as you were talking about the election, going, okay, what would be the purpose of risking being caught with these machines and whatever they were bringing in, more ballots and all this, in a county in Texas, which is going to be red for Donald Trump, okay? Now think about this, everybody. This all goes down to what I have told all of you for 4.5 years. When you skim, I got to use a casino example again. The mafia, when they used to skim the casinos in Las Vegas, you're going to skim, take money, that's taking money off the top.
Yep.
Okay. When you do that, You can't just skim the craps table or one slot machine. You have to skim everything because everything is relevant to the amount of people that are coming into the casino. You
Yes.
even have to skim the food, everybody. Everything. If you're, like in my pillow, I know how many things are coming in. I know how much to order of each quantity based on what they're selling. If all of a sudden one day the towels don't sell in one day, or they sell way more than what we thought, something happened. Something's going on. Something's going on. Okay. So, in order to do that, and then you got to create this illusion to the public that these things could happen. You know what? Texas could turn. Remember the old thing they said before the
Yes.
2020? Boy, Texas could turn. Texas could turn. This is before the 2020 election, everybody. Let me tell you something about the facts. Donald Trump won Texas. If Ken Paxton hadn't fought and won all 12 things about the corrupt things they were setting up with the China virus, like they did in every other state, making people vote 2 months early and all this garbage, mail-in voting, all these things that they put in because of the virus. But if he wouldn't have done that, another 2 million votes would have been stolen. This has been proven. But let me tell you, the 2020 election, the number one number of votes stolen in the United States was what? Everybody guess? California. Now, why would they steal votes from California from Donald Trump? Okay. Because that's the skim. They got to make it look all relevant. Why would they take the next state was Texas? They stole a little over 1 million votes. Why would they take that from Texas when it's going to be red anyway? Okay. Now, then they went, Florida was number 3, 980,000 votes. And he won Florida in a landslide, right? No, it was way more than that, 980,000 votes more. So what I'm telling you, everybody, you got to make it believable. The blessing of the 2020 election, and I'm telling you, the most important election in human history, not just the United States. This will go down as the most important election ever, is the 2020 election. Because why? They predicted wrong. Had they not predicted wrong, everybody, yeah, and what I mean by that, they had to predict their skim line. They figured Donald Trump would only maximum get 68 million votes. He actually got a little over 80 million because when they did their little polling, people wouldn't tell them the polling was so off, and so they missed their skim mark. So when they were skimming, in other words, you had to cover the water level enough stole that you would take Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, all these swing states, right? You had to make sure you
Georgia
got enough
wasn't
to
a
win.
swing state.
What's
That's the
that?
thing. And Georgia really wasn't a swing state. That's not a
Yeah,
swing
well,
state.
they had to steal enough to take. This is what I'm saying. Just to take all those states. Okay. Whether there was a swing state or not is irrelevant right now. I'm just telling you, as the election at 11 o'clock at night, okay, the votes that had come in, Donald Trump had big votes everywhere. He was up in Pennsylvania by 900,000 votes, everybody.
I remember this.
So as this came in, the odds in Las Vegas, my friend bet on all these states. Okay. It was mathematically impossible. The odds went 99 to 1 or whatever it was. Donald Trump's going to win. And this is it. Everybody's winning. So now what happened is if they would have kept going, Donald Trump would have won all those states in spite of the skim. Does everybody follow me? He would have won all those states because they were running out of track. I mean, you got Arizona was 99% reported, everybody. And Donald Trump went, and the rest of the votes that were going to come in was 80 or 75-25 Donald Trump. But what did they do? They had to react to it. What are we going to do? And that's when they shut down all them states at the same time, and every one of them made a different excuse. Pennsylvania ended up with more votes than voters. Georgia said, Georgia, we all know what happened down there. The water mains broke or whatever, and that's the suitcase people under the thing. In Michigan, they said, when you woke up in the morning, the ones that didn't, you guys that went to bed, go, what do you mean? 106,000 votes in Michigan came down for for Biden, and only 2,000 for Donald Trump. Oh, those darn mail-in votes, those inner city. And him going, here's the reality, everybody. In Michigan, the mail-in votes weren't counted on the middle of the night on the 3rd or on the 4th. They were counted on the morning of the 3rd. They were already counted. So where did
I
these
have
votes
the
come from?
video, Mike. I'll
Yeah,
never
yeah,
forget this.
right.
The TCF Center, the
Yeah, the
band.
TCF, the band that pulled in. You guys, so what I'm saying is that was the miracle of the world. That night was the miracle. You guys, I encourage you all go to Lindell TV, LindellTV.com. Check out movies. You're going to click on it. Watch my speech I did because how we got here. You want to talk about miracles that you didn't consider miracles at the time, going, oh my gosh. But if they would have predicted wrong, everybody, if they would have evil made a big mistake, that is the grace of God. That's the biggest mistake ever made in history, I'm going to say, because had they predicted right, Neil, we would have, by 11 o'clock at night, he would have won all that. Biden would have been reported the winner. He would have won all those swing states because they would have took a big enough skim, and we would have all went to bed and said, "Oh man, we did it to ourselves. We took God out of our schools. A nation turned its back on God. All these crazy liberals and everybody likes transvestites and men and women sport. All this garbage. No, that's what we would have thought. People that had common sense, we would have thought that we were maybe 10% of the whole population that's still, looking back and say, this is horrible what has happened, but there would have been no coming back, everybody, no coming back. But instead, it woke us up. The last 4.5 years, the things that have been revealed, the excitement that's going on. And, we went through 4 years of the biggest revival for Jesus Christ in history. We went through 4 years, just like I told the president, Neil, last summer. I said, all these good things are going on. All these bad things are actually good things, sir. And he looked at me and goes, Mike, these don't seem so good. And I said, they're bringing people to Jesus, number one, and they're bringing people, opening up this thing, common sense, and people are seeing where evil lied. Evil had to show its ugly head, and evil is greedy. So I'm so happy. That was the first miracle. And I'm telling you, the biggest, the most important election in history was the 2020 election. What they had to do right out of the gate, the anomaly, they were caught. Why do you think everybody, they didn't steal it in this election in 2024? I'm going to explain that really quick. If they would have gave us all China virus 2.0 right before the election again, all right, here comes another virus. Everybody go into lockdown. You think we'd have done it? No.
No.
We just said no. I'm in Minnesota where horrible governor Tim Walz put 10 people in houses for Thanksgiving, said if you have more than 10, your neighbor can turn you in and you get 90 days in jail.
Yeah, and a hotline.
Yeah, tip line. Yeah, you can't make this up. Christmas, we got 2 more, though, everybody here in Minnesota. But let me say, if we would have done that, the whole country would have erupted. If they would have stole this election crime 2.0, we had got the word out enough that it's all done with computers. Now you got to melt them down and turn them into prison bar. If they would have stole it from Donald Trump, the whole nation would have said, open up those machines like Mike Lindell wanted. Open them up. And that's what would have had to happen. And they would have lost everything. You guys, they tried so hard. You don't think it's weird that in June, that all of a sudden Biden, who can't even talk, wants a debate with Donald Trump? They did that on purpose to get rid of him. They thought if they brought in a woman and Kamala Harris, they bring her in, and then they could make
black woman.
Yeah, exactly. But they could do the narrative. They could cheat Donald Trump and just do the narrative that, hey, everyone's better than Donald Trump, right? But the only thing, that backfired on him too, because the polling and everything was so good and too big to rig. There was things that went on there. And remember, I was against any kind of early voting and mail-in voting. I'm totally against it. I still am. It's only going to work that one time because the polling that came out when people had voted early in some place like North Carolina, Republicans voted more than Democrats. So what were they going to do on game day? Flip the vote, which is real obvious, to, the Democrats came out on election day. It's a miracle. People, you can't believe it.
It's a miracle.
So, yeah, it's a miracle. Another miracle. So anyway.
Angels in the outfield, Mike?
Yeah.
Angels. It could happen.
It could happen. That you guys. That's what you just said there, Neil. That's what they got by on the 2020 election. No. This is like it's a 1 in a trillion, but it could happen. Just like I say, the only things they looked into was like that gal in Georgia, that Democrat in the 2022 election, she had 0 votes in her own precinct. Neil, if they would have gave her 3 votes for her husband and her daughter, they would have said to her, sorry, we're not going to look into the machines. Nobody loves you but your family. But they gave her 0, so they had to open them up. It could happen. It could happen.
Okay,
That's
Mike,
what
you know what this reminds me of?
Huh?
This reminds me. Okay, so in Minnesota, as you well know, we have this big problem with wolves. We have no deer anymore. People can't find deer up in northern Minnesota, and so everybody knows it's the wolves. But the DNR keeps telling us, correlation does not equal causation. You don't know it's the wolves. Everybody knows it's the wolves.
Everybody knows it's the wolves. And let me tell you this, everybody. I compare it to the OJ trials. OJ got off on it could happen because here's what it was. They took those lawyers, siloed out each individual thing. The shoes were like the shoes were the worst one. There was 29 pairs ever made. They could account for every pair but one. And so that made it like 1 in a billion, let's say. Okay. The glove was, let's say 1 in 10 million. And each thing, the blood being there that it wasn't his. So they took it all out and they're going, if you silo each thing out and put doubt on each one, like a 1 in a billion. Hey, it's not impossible. It could happen. It's like the movie Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance. So by doing that, and then you combine them all, it's impossible, everybody. This is all mathematics. It's impossible. So this is what evil knew. If I was evil's marketer going into the 2024 election, I would do exactly what they did. Here's what they did, everybody. They stole 5 million votes from Donald Trump. 5 million. He won in a bigger landslide. Okay. They wanted to steal enough so this next time they steal things that you actually believe that people would still vote Democrat. Okay. They stole after the election when everybody pointed going, oh, Donald Trump won. Oh, praise the Lord. Everything's over. It's great. Mike, you've been vindicated. No, we kept watching. Wait on it, everybody. 9 House members were stolen. 9 of them, everybody. They didn't even get done counting them till December. All of a sudden, each day, well, the Democrats getting closer. They won, but nobody was watching. You didn't see this on Fox News. You didn't see this on CNN. None of them are reporting this. And guess what? They stole 4 senators. Now think if there were 4 senators and nine House members there now, what that would be.
Mike,
they're doing this, but let me just quick say.
Make a point here. I'm actually glad that they got the Michigan. I did not want him to win in Michigan. That would have been a uniparty crap Republican. Anyways, I throw that aside. I mean, it's because it's harder to get them out once they're in there.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you guys, the evil, they had to almost hit the pause button and only steal this much. Because what if they would have stole the House and then Donald Trump wins, but they steal the House? It would be the same thing if Donald Trump won. If Donald Trump won, the people in this country would have demanded, this is impossible. Open up those machines. It was bad enough they stole just 9, but they didn't raise the flag to all these being. All of a sudden, if they would have stolen enough to steal the House, this whole country would have said, how does Donald Trump win here? You follow me? That would have been a biggest, huge deviation. But this time around, the public would have demanded that open up those machines for these deviations. Okay. And this is actually going on right now. What do you think the DOJ with Tulsi Gabbard, bless her heart, she's out there, she's going back in time, and so is our president, going back to the 2020 election. Neil, they just demanded about a month ago from Minnesota, Colorado, and other states, demanded the data, demanded the election records that we the people could demand under the Freedom of Information Act.
What's interesting about that, Mike?
And you know what Minnesota said?
All this money fighting, giving over election records.
It's unbelievable. And you know what Minnesota said to our president? You ain't getting them.
You ain't getting them.
We're Minnesota. We got Tim Walz. He's in charge here.
Okay, Mike,
unbelievable.
I got to get to this too quick. Okay, so here it is. Folks, this is not just conservative news outlets reporting this. So I just want to show you this. MSN, everything. But here's the thing. Karen Bass raked in cash from Chinese Intel-tied bankers before hiring them. Now, these are tied to fundraisers. So basically, the donated East West Bank and Pang have donated upwards of $1 million to Bass's mayoral campaign and the mayor's fund for Los Angeles. So there's multiple ways in which they steal, and multiple ways in which. So I mean, you can look, Mike, and you know this because you got censored. I got censored. So all the censoring that went on through Facebook, through YouTube, through Twitter, through all of it, okay, that alone was enough to move a certain percentage of the votes. It is proven by polling after the fact that it would have changed the vote by 3.7% simply if people had known about Hunter Biden's laptop, if that story had been exposed.
Okay, hold it right there. You guys, by that not happening, that we thought was so bad then, oh boy, that'd be great. We would have lost our country forever if they would have said, no, let's see Hunter Biden's laptop and change the vote and change it to Donald Trump. Does everybody get that? You understand, Neil, what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah,
and you can look back now.
Does everybody understand that this was actually God's grace?
Yes,
even though we did not see it that way, and we were all pissed off.
That's why I encourage everybody. You need to go to LindellTV.com, go to movies and watch How We Got Here. I bring all that up in the movie. If anything would have happened differently, this was all in God's timing and God's plan. All this stuff had to be revealed over the last 4.5 years. You think if Donald Trump if we'd have flipped it to him by that laptop and he got in there, think of what would have, where we'd be. He couldn't have got the stuff he's getting done now, and because he's got the public, we the people know. We know now that everything's got to change. We know what to work on. Our elections are number one. So what we thought was bad back then, like the Hunter Biden laptop, is actually another great thing that happened. Because why? Because evil is greedy. You guys, evil is greedy. I'll do one more quick example. And I seen this early on. I started realizing it in November and December as things kept happening. I'm going, wait a minute. Well, by the time I figured out the two senators, I was down with the president on January 5th down in Georgia, or January 4th or 5th. I think it was the 5th. And it was the two senator runoff, everybody. And everyone's going, we got to get one to save the Senate. We got to, please, God, everybody's praying. Well, I hit me like a ton of bricks when I was there with the president and 80,000 people. And I got down and I prayed. I said, God, please let them steal both senators. And why would I do that, everybody? Because I knew if I was the evil's marker, I'd have said, they're on to us. Give them back a Republican so they shut up about this election. If they'd have gave back one of those senators, everyone would have said, Mike, don't worry about it. We still got the Senate. We'll get them back in 2022. You guys, it would have been over. Right there, said and done. We would have been boiled like frogs, like we were getting boiled. Instead, evil is greedy. They took them both. They stole both the senators, and everybody went, oh, now what are we going to do? Maybe Mike's right. Maybe people are right. Maybe there was theft in the election, and your eyes are getting open. But evil had a plan. What was that plan, everybody? They had January 6th plan. It don't matter. That's why they could steal them both, because they had January 6th all set up. And then they manifested in two of the most important days in our country's history, January 7th and 8th, where 1.2 million Americans were deplatformed, and our voice went down to this little tiny dot, but it didn't go out. We were blackballed and canceled on Twitter, Jack Dorsey's crooked Twitter, Zuckerberg's Facebook. 1.2 million Americans deplatformed. Donald Trump lost his 100 million people on Twitter, and they wiped Parler, the only competition, off the face of the earth.
Wiped them right out.
Yeah. So this is why, you guys, that's the day we started winning, when that light didn't go out. And now here we are today. We're going to get there, but this was all. I hope everybody can see the miracles back then, Neil, that looked so bad. So as you got to recognize
a couple
things.
People commented, Mike. Folks, I want you to seriously answer this. Do you understand that everything, all these miraculous things that you did not think were miraculous. Were actually miraculous, that this was God's grace? Yes or no? Comment on that.
Right. Even like they say with Pence. I was texting Pence and go, please look at this, or what, you got to see this. This is what happened with their computers, and he didn't do it for one reason or another. He didn't do it. He went completely the other way. Well, everyone say what you want. That's just there was miracle after miracle, and I want to tell everybody, I'll never forget these words. As you know, you all see me at the White House carrying papers that said martial law. Yep. On January 15th, 9 days after January 6th. I'm going to cut through all that. I was rushed. I had all the evidence to show the president, Dennis Montgomery evidence, where all you had to do was sign the government protective order, and all this evidence could have came out. Well, if he'd have signed that, it would have changed history. But he didn't get it signed. The lawyers blocked it, and I was shooed out of the White House. But that picture was taken. But I didn't know it till I got it. Was heading across to Virginia. I'll never forget Ben Carson called me, great friend. And we were all in together in lockstep trying to get this evidence to the president. And he goes, "Did you get it to him?" I said, "Yeah," but I said, "The lawyers blocked it." I said, "They shooed me out of the White House." And I was devastated. Here I had the papers to save the country. And I'm almost in tears. And Ben said these words, everybody. He said, he talks kind of slow. And he goes, "Well, Mike," he goes, God doesn't go by dates, November 3rd or January 6th or December 14th. Maybe things have to unfold and things have to happen before the truth can come out. It would be on God's timing. And those were such peaceful words. They gave me a peace. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody. If you look up patience, I'm not a picture there going, "Here's patient Mike." But I've had to learn patience, Neil. I've had to learn patience, and I can see it.
Mike.
Yeah, and I can see that, everybody. And everybody that came to me, they're going, "Mike, this doesn't feel like grace the last 4 years." And I'm going, "Oh, but it is. The last 4 years, all that heavy." I said, "Oh, but it is. We're in the greatest revival for Jesus Christ ever because of the bad thing." People don't look to God when things are going good. They look to when things are going bad. And I said, as things are unfolding, and I said, "Mike," they go, "Mike, I prayed for this or I prayed for that. It didn't come true. Donald Trump didn't win. Things are going too slow." I hear it all the time, every day. And I'm going, you know what? It might not be God's will or God's timing, everybody. And where is God's will? It's in the Word. Every day I wake up, my wife and I, we get in the Word, we read the Bible, and then you know what? You can take God's Word and line it up and be proactive in prayer, and they line up beautifully. Now you can look at things that are going on. There's a much bigger picture than all of us could ever imagine. Do you think I imagine, Neil? I can sit there and go, okay, I was sitting in my flesh trying to go, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. Now I have a peace going, you know what? I've learned this more than anyone. When God uses all things for good for those who believe. All those things we thought were bad, were good.
Do you know what that's prefaced by too, Mike?
Huh?
That verse. So a lot of people talk about that verse, but that's Philippians 4:13 you're talking about. Before that, it talks about, I've learned to live with lack and I've learned to live with plenty. Oh, so you know, you always look at those verses before those verses. You're talking about something here, Mike, and I want to share this with you because I think this makes a lot of sense. And I know you're coming up on the end here of what you're able to the time you have, but I want to Romans 8. Okay. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. For the law of the Spirit of life has set you free in Christ Jesus from the law of sin and death. For God has done what the law, weakened by the flesh, could not do by sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh. And for sin, he condemned sin in the flesh, in other words, in Christ, in order that the righteous requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. Okay? And it goes on here, and I want to go down to this part, though, because this is so important. And it's hard for people to accept this, okay? But if you go down here, it goes on and it says that you basically have the inheritance through Christ if you share in his sufferings. Okay. Now, Mike, I'm going to just say, you know, like for the sake of the country, you've suffered. I'm sure in aspects of your faith you've suffered, but we are only able to share in his glory if we share in his sufferings. It's in this book. It's in this book right here. That's it. That's all we got. And there's nothing else that we have. But Mike, I did notice a comment here. I just wanted to, I think it was Tree 3 Climber said that they were going to have to buy a new bed to buy my pillows. Okay, I'm going to need a new bed to buy my pillows. Well, fortunately, and again, if you want to support Mike in his efforts and what's going on, you can get a new bed right now, and you can
absolutely
get on it. Okay,
and free shipping right to your door, made in the USA. And I want to say something, Neil, about the beds and the toppers. You guys, this isn't just any bed. I helped develop it. I didn't go when I went. There's a lot of stuff that goes into a bed. This is My Pillow's patented fill in there too, and in a solid piece, or with just like my mattress toppers. But sleep is about. We don't talk enough about this. Sleep is about temperature and pressure points. When you're talking about your delta sleep. Well, you go REM and delta. So when your brain is recalibrating with great REM sleep, with your My Pillow, you adjust your bed, but the mattress toppers or the mattresses, the technology. I didn't just put stuff in there going, oh, EG, I'll make this look beautiful and this over here and charge more. No, I wanted to know, I went to the bedding manufacturers and said, what makes, what will help me get good sleep? What will help me get this? The pressure points, all this. My mattress toppers, they have like 12,000 pressure points. The one mattress topper does individual pressure points, and your body temperature needs to be in the right temperature for you to get into these sleep cycles. So you guys, and you know what? My beds, they come with a 10-year warranty. The mattress topper, same thing. And money back guarantee. I believe the mattress is even longer than 60. It might even be a 3-4 month guarantee. I don't know. But you know what? For any reason, and they come right to your front door with free shipping that is going to go away. I know we're doing a very special for your audience, but this free shipping on every item, we can do it today, and we're doing it now, and we keep it going as long as we can. But My Pillow, you guys are supporting my employees, my employee-owned company, and the biggest thing for me is I've been for the last year. Everyone says, I'm all over the social media now, and I'm out there in the fight, like we saw it with our election platforms, and I have been. But most of my time has been devoted this last year to try and save My Pillow. They just destroyed it in Arctic frost. Look it up, everybody. Our own government went after My Pillow. Box stores canceled, shopping channels canceled. We got demerged and served. American Express took us and threw us out the window. We were perfect with them. They're disgusting. But we've made it through by the grace of God and all your support. This is a win-win-win. You're supporting an employee-owned company made in the USA. You're getting the best products in history for the best prices ever. All your Christmas shopping there. So we can't thank you enough. I'll tell you, mypillow.com/lumberjack. Call my mom and dad's working from home, 800-568-2865. And then when the government told them they couldn't work from home, but we won that, they wanted to do, you guys, why are they still attacking? Keith Ellison's going after my Lindell Recovery Network. We had to get more lawyers for that. You guys, we need your help, and you can go to mypillowtrial.com. Help us there. We have 22 more days to appeal that. I need to state that why do they do this to me? Because I'm their biggest threat to getting rid of their devices they tried to steal our country with, the electronic voting machines, which 132 smarter countries banned a long time ago. And the last one being Argentina, which is over 2.5 years now. You think they're not happy they finally had a free and secure election? I mean, this doesn't even make sense, everybody. Everybody's got to get involved, and we've got to get to this paper ballots. But Neil, I'm coming through, and with all your support, My Pillow, I feel secure. We're enough to where I'm getting real close to announce you guys that I'm going to run for governor of Minnesota, because there's a lot of stuff that need to be fixed here and in our country.
Somebody said I need towels so bad. Well, I'm going to tell you something, John. They are the best towels. I'm not even kidding. Everybody asks me, "What's your favorite products?" Giza sheets. Love those things. Absolutely cannot get enough of Giza sheets. I mean, they're like cotton, but you call it a satin. It's like it's not like a cotton sheet. But it is, because it breathes like cotton, like Egyptian cotton, as it were. The towels, they absorb so well. They're so soft. That's my other fave. And then I love the travel pillows, Mike, because I just got back from elk hunting. I take them out. They pack down nice. But I like a smaller pillow anyway, so I use them a lot on my bed. And I use them as.
And you guys, those travel pillows, you guys are those that we call them the go anywhere pillows. They're so diverse. You're going to, I was in the other room in my studio. I use it to sit on. All my employees, they'll use it for backrest. You use it, you get to a hotel. If you're traveling, you can do it on top of the hotel pillow, because usually they have garbage that goes flat. You're using your arm and everything else. Or like you say, it's so compact. You can roll it tight. You can put it in your pocket. It's so compact to take it. Your hunting trips, fishing trips, like you say, backpack. It's the most versatile product we have, and it's one of my favorites too. But you guys, every product I ever made or improved on or got patented, like our pillows, I reverse engineered it. Problem solution. That was it. So when you talk about the towels, you guys, I did a whole commercial on this. This took a long time. I grew up and towels actually dried you. And all of a sudden I'm going, getting these towels and they feel kind of slimy, like you see those Kleenexes that are pre-snotted. They put oils in them and I'm going, who wants this garbage, right? So the towels, I mean, seriously, these Kleenexes, I go, what is this? I would throw them out, okay? I mean, it was bizarre. But the towels, they had all this. You got them home, they felt good in the store. Ooh, they feel soft. You got them home and they didn't dry you. The water would beat off. I did a commercial, everybody. Once I developed towels, I found out why that was happening. In 2006, our government, it was called a GATT deal with Pakistan, India, China. They all got to import towels, no tariffs, no nothing. So it was a free-for-all in our market. And they added, to be competitive in the retail stores when you feel them, they added fabric softener, oils, all these chemicals to make them feel good, but they wouldn't do what a towel's made to do, absorb. So I actually did a commercial, Neil. I had two towels side by side. One of the funnest commercials I ever did. I poured water in the one from the store. You can grab anyone from the store. The water, it filled up. I go, you could line a swimming pool with these towels, you know? And I said, get rid of it. You take a gallon of water, pour it, it just sucks in. They are the most soft, absorbent, amazing towels you'll ever use. 6-piece towel sets, you guys, $39.98. They're $69.98. Use that promo code LUMBERJACKS. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, Mike, I have got to go. Speaking of things to do, I got to move cows tonight. I got to move my cows, so I got to go pick them up and move them from one pasture to the other.
Right on.
Mike, again, thanks for your fight. Thanks for doing all you do. Folks, do go support Mike. Go to mypillow.com/lumberjack. Use the 800 number, 1-800-568-2865. You will love the products. And again, I tell you, Christmas is coming. Watch where you spend your money now more than ever. So support those that support you. And if you know, like I remember Dan Bongino, I tell the story all the time, but Dan Bongino had a company called Elite Tactical Systems, ETS, and I could use promo code Dan Bongino to get magazines for my rifle and my pistol and speed loaders and everything. And I just went and used that promo code, and I got it from Dan's promo code because I want to support other people who actually like me.
Okay, Neil, I'm going to do the last thing for everybody. This is a surprise for you too. You guys remember I have another site called mystore.com. It's for entrepreneurs. I built it to protect them from the counterfeiters, the Amazons, where China's products come in. There's over 1,000 entrepreneurs on there with USA, 100% made in the USA products. Use that promo code LUMBERJACK there. Shop till you drop. I've never done this before. Free shipping on your entire order right now.
All right, there you go. We'll get some of those hose washers, folks. They're awesome. Use them.
So check it out, everybody. So awesome.
Yeah, and they got a great drywall repair kit over there. All kinds of good stuff. So you can kind of spend your time looking through that. But thanks so much for joining us, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
And we'll see you on the next episode. All right, folks. Peace out.